We're early.
Hello, everybody.
Don't do that.
I'm going to castrate you. One more time. That's all you get.
Hello, everybody.
What's under your desk, right?
Going to Regina right now. Bunch of arseholes.
Well, he obviously hasn't read the show notes because he's supposed to be reading something, and all he does is make it
I was waiting until the show's actually supposed to start because he started early.
Well, 30 seconds early. 25 seconds.
Yeah. Welcome to episode 25 of Gunning Around. We're here to provide you with food for thought on what the hell we're doing with your miserable lives since you've been reduced to listening to these clowns' ramblings. Oh, I think I did that wrong.
You didn't read that first, did you?
You didn't screw it up.
I didn't. I didn't screw it up. Okay, that's good. Yay. Today's guest is accomplished.
There you go.
Today's guest is an accomplished extended long range and PRS competitor, as well as a member of the Applied Ballistics shooting team, and has passed along some of his knowledge through associations like Call Sign 66. Calvin Menard has done work to qualify for such high-level events as the Sniper Side Cup, World's Longest Shot Challenge, Canadian PRS, US United States PRS Finale, and others. Grab a seat, a drink, and enjoy the show. But first, a word from our sponsors and a few preliminary items before we peer into the belly of this beast.
Who wrote that shit?
I don't know. It just rolls off the fucking tongue, doesn't it?
All right, everybody, Gunning Around is proudly brought to you by EM Precision Rifles, specializing in custom precision long-range and extended long-range rifles, offering all services in-house, including machining, cerakoting, and custom laser engraving. No need to source components yourself. EM Precision offers preferred pricing through many vendors, carrying every component required to get you onto the range or into the field. Find Shane Monzer and Steve, I don't let ugly shit out of my shop, Kurt Emblin, on their website at emprifles.ca, as well as on Facebook and Instagram as EM Precision Rifles. If you make the mistake of complimenting Steve's boyish good looks, as we've recommended in the past, and not Shane's, you may get a slap from both of them. Or maybe we might get one too. Steve, I don't let ugly shit out of this shop, Emblin. I asked him to build me an ugly rifle one time. He refused. He said, after I Cerakote it, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Yeah, but 20 bucks is 20 bucks. Right on. Well, who the hell are we? Well, I am Sean, CCFR Regional Field Officer Coordinator. I used to work in the ag industry. I guess I still do.
Yeah.
And father of one, and I'm still non-infectious COVID-19. So, whatever the fuck that means.
Yay.
It's an accomplishment. Way to go. Congratulations. You're part of the herd.
Yes.
I'm John. I'm a journeyman electrician, CCFR Field Officer, VP of the Regina Fish and Game League, Project Maple Seed IIT, firearms business owner, M14 Medic Firearms, sports shooter hunter, and a certifiable rifle loony.
Indeed. I'm Kurt. I'm in construction management. I'm CCFR field officer. Likes the precision long range shootings. I'm a hunter when time permits, a hand loader, mess around with wildcats. Yeah, that's about all.
Mess around with wildcats. So would you call yourself Kurt Exotic?
Not that specifically.
The wildcat kid? Calvin got it. Yes. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for laughing.
Oh, Cloud.
Speaking of Cal, who the hell are you, Cal?
Okay, it's a tough follow-up here, but anyways, Calvin Menard, just a extreme long-range shooter, hunter, working the oil patch, selling drill bits for 20 years, and just actually started in selling oil tools now. So taking on a new adventure there. And then, for the most part, just spend a lot of my time doing the extreme long range and doing a lot of, like everybody else, sitting at the reloading bench and, everything in between, do your research, do a little practice when you can, and have a little fun. So,
heir to the building supply fortune. Sorry.
How come that stack at your reloading bench doesn't ever seem to shrink? You notice that?
Well, that's it starts at about 200 in a row there.
Yeah.
And then once I get those, there'll be another 200 in a row. It's always ready. That's always the next what's up for bat, right? You know.
And then if you volunteer to piss around with your buddies' rifles too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I got one guy I accidentally offered that, not thinking that anybody'd ever take you up on anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just
very
because
much
you
one of
wouldn't do
those-
that doesn't mean somebody else wouldn't take you up on that.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
There's no chance in hell they'd say yes or go ahead. Yeah, 1,000 brass later. Oh, here, look at all this shit that just shows up all of a sudden.
Yeah. Oh, and
Speaking
by
of
the way,
snakes, No.
what's that? Yeah.
Thanks, Kurt.
Send John care packages all the time because I care. All right, what are we drinking, fellas?
I'll go first. So
All right.
I picked up this today. Seemed like the thing to do for the show. Bullet. Oh, here's the camera. Bullet Bourbon, Frontier Whiskey. It's actually pretty tasty. Like kind of smoky. Does that make sense? It's a bourbon after all.
Yeah.
Smooth. Not spicy though.
Does
Not
it whisper
spicy.
to you?
It will be in about an hour, I think. Whispering sweet nothing. Yeah, go reload now, Sean. Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Oh, and I'm washing it down with some of this stuff.
Oh, you're gonna get the coronavirus for sure.
Wait, what? Oh, Corona.
Oh.
Fuck.
No.
Low budget beer.
That's how dumb people are, though. It's like Corona was on sale at the liquor store today, and I'm like, well, how much of this are you selling? I asked the guy. They're like, you're the first guy in 3 weeks that's bought a case of this stuff. Yeah, that's how dumb people are.
That tells you exactly the mental state of our society right now.
Sheep.
Oh,
Bunch
my
of
God.
sheep.
I thought we hit the pinnacle in 2015. We didn't.
Not quite yet.
We re-elected that son of a bitch.
Oh, that's just it. That is just it. I thought I'd seen all there was to see, but I was wrong for the second time this year. Moving along. What
are you
drinking, Kurt?
Yeah.
Kurt. Funny story.
Uh-oh.
My girlfriend got me this. It's,
Apple pie moonshine.
Yeah, that Last Mountain Lake or whatever distillery.
Okay, yeah.
Apple pie moonshine. And she was all proud. I got something for you. Come see what it is. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I had that stuff once before.
Mm-hmm.
It is terrible. It is terrible.
It's just pure sugar, isn't it?
Well, aren't they all? Most of them.
Well, I guess, yeah.
But no, it's
like
just
super sweet, and you know,
it seriously tastes like it was filtered through a nitrile glove first.
Brew, yeah.
It's no. I'd have another serious fight with Sailor Jerry again before I actually spent money on this. But since my girlfriend was trying to do such a nice thing for me, I'll toughen up a little.
Just watch the show, right? So
yeah. Shit. Yeah. Hey, I'm a good kid. I'm just not very smart.
I'm on the silver bullet tonight because that's the other beers that I still there.
Yeah, you're still here.
Yeah.
You just switched tabs or what?
Here we go.
Oh, hey.
This thing doesn't fit the Coors Banquet, which I was planning to drink tonight. So that's that.
Show Cal.
Was this your lunch kit? Or?
I went looking for one of those.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Barley sandwiches.
Oh,
it's
nice.
a cooler.
6-pack ice cooler.
I went looking for one of those and I couldn't find it.
I just went for the
Yeah.
whole damn thing.
Utility, yeah.
Yeah.
I figured once I'd had 7, I figured that would be enough, hey?
Oh,
Cal's
yeah.
Cal's got a couple of hot dogs and a sidearm in there.
You
Just to round it out.
You don't know what could come through the door. You gotta be ready. Right?
Agreed.
Last time I worked at 7 starts, I started dropping a lot of C-bombs and stuff. So we decided to just kind of not do that no more.
Right. Good policy.
What are you drinking, Cal?
Oh, we got the Dos Equis.
Stay strong, my friends.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, extreme.
Well, we'll see if you are the most interesting man in the world.
You just wait. Just so
Babe, bring me 4 more.
It might be a little bit dull, but wait till you get to the bottom there.
So hip waders or chest waders?
Oh, you just all in. Just don't even bother. It's all going over the top anyway. So
Right
Alrighty,
on.
guys. I'll move it on here. We'd love to hear your feedback about the show. Please visit us at facebook.com/gunningaround and leave a review. You can also email the show info@gunningaround.com. Without your feedback, how can we improve? We have an awesome website, gunningaround.com. Please leave a review on iTunes so we can all get all the. Please leave a review on iTunes so we can get all the stars. Kurt's like gold stars and the taste of stickers.
We got to take that off. That's getting
We
old.
do. It's getting really old.
Like, I still like the taste of stickers.
Oh, that's a given.
Yeah.
Totally.
All right.
Just get rid of it immediately from the photos.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Lame.
Well, we actually have some feedback this
We
week.
do. Jesse DePlanty commented on Facebook. Awesome bunch of guys and great banter on every episode. Definitely a 5-star group. Well, I guess we're kind of tooting our horns a little bit, but
No, I just want to be clear. Is that 5 out of 10 stars? Or
ooh, yeah.
he did.
they only grade anything in 5 stars, so it's kind of.
Well, thanks, Cal. That makes me.
John.
Yeah.
It's not like you're being based on looks here or anything, right?
That's very, very true.
And if we are, we'd still, if it was based by looks, we'd still score 5.
Yes, I think a solid 5.
I don't know how
Middle of the road.
Yeah. You can check out our podcast on facebook.com/gunningaround. We post stuff.
Mainly salty memes.
That's about it. Yeah. Useless kind of things. We've been really slacking with relevant articles and that, haven't we?
Well, we've all been reloading. We don't have time.
we
Like
have.
you're struggling to find.
I don't have
News.
time for this podcast shit. I'm out.
What
I'm
about
gonna
paying?
drive to Regina to slash and tires anyway.
That's right.
But yeah, check us out on Apple Podcast app, Google Play, the Stitchers, the YouTubes, any of that shit, or wherever you get your shit. We're there.
We're everywhere.
Yeah.
But we live stream on Facebook and YouTube only. So
Yeah, we could. Is there anywhere else to live stream?
Twitter,
Hold on. The dark
we
web.
could, We could be
your
on the
mom's
tweets.
house.
You don't want to go to my mom's house.
Tim Hortons.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe
But
she has meatloaf.
we do have another sponsor. I'm going to read this one, John, considering you've butchered every word that's came out of your mouth so far.
Yep. Eventually, you guys will learn.
That's right. Well, now I'm going to read your ad because you have been serving the Canadian gun industry. Let's say EST 2016, but long before that. M14 Medic Firearms specializes in M14 pattern rifles. Oh, I did it too. Fuck. Woo! M14 pattern rifles as well as Grand rifles. Your one-stop shop for all your M14 gun plumber needs. If he doesn't do it, yada, yada, yada.
Jesus.
Gotta pay those bills, right?
That's right.
Anyway. Are we still going to attack on?
So far,
I think so.
They're saying it's going to blow over by June.
Now, if you guys, if we don't go, what I want you guys to do is send us an email of where you want us to donate the funds from the sticker draw. Because otherwise, we're just going to give it to the CCFR or Project Maple Seed. So, which are both worthy causes. But send us those and give us ideas, and we'll go from there. So, yeah, we're not going to do the whole TACOM ad read because why not? But we're going. We have money now to go. So,
Well, ish. You got
wow.
We'll have to do like 8 more of these draws, I think. But yeah, we got money to go.
Now, do we have a drinking budget and a regular budget?
Well, that goes without saying.
I
We
thought
have a
our
drinking
budget was a drinking budget. I thought that was it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's your dad getting at there?
Tom, send us an email. I said, send us an email. Fuck. He just immediately comments. I love your dad, John. He's a beauty.
Yeah, well, I think he's going stir crazy. He hasn't left the house in 3 weeks, but
Yeah.
So when is that different? Just kidding. I'm just screwing with you, Tom. You're awesome.
Hey, Cal, we didn't do a "What are you chewing" segment, did we?
No, I shut that down.
Did you?
Oh, yeah,
Good for you.
Yeah,
Nobody likes
well,
the quitter.
it's actually been quite a while. I think the last one was May. I think it was May 17th in 2007.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's been a while.
2:07 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
7:34 p.m. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
Sometimes when the ship sinks, you know what time it all happens, right? So.
All right, on.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I gave up tobacco about 3 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, we seen that. Way to stay strong there. Yeah.
Crushing dart.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Smoking cigarettes and
apparently
watching
smoking's not a bad thing
Captain
anymore
Kangaroo.
because COVID-19's the whole problem of the fucking world right now.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
Yeah.
smoking, drinking and driving, whatever the hell.
Yeah, The liberals don't even give a shit.
Cancer's not a problem. Oh yeah, global warming, that's fucking gone too. Don't worry about
Yeah,
that.
isn't that amazing, hey? Oh, now we really need to start that oil field pumping. You know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
Oh yeah, roadblocks are not a thing anymore because you can't go outside and you can't be
Yeah.
in your little gang bang around the friggin' railway there
yeah.
or whatever the fuck they're doing out there. But
So everybody, here's Cal.
Okay, so
Let's get going on with this thing here.
Look at that resume. Holy shit.
It is.
So let's just see. We got 2015 Sniper's Hide Cup Trophy at 308. I'm assuming that's the caliber you were shooting.
Yep.
2016 third in Canada for PRS. 2016 PRS finale qualifier. That would be the US one or the Canadian one?
yeah, it was all grouped in. It was national. Throughout the whole thing.
2018 World's Longest Shot Challenge third in 338 and under non-factory division. 2018 World's Longest Challenge Shot Fall Classic, 6th overall.
6th overall in the world.
2019 World's Longest Shot Challenge, 3rd overall. 2019-2020 Applied Ballistics ELR Team Shooter. And retired steer wrestler and bodybuilder.
Fuck, I bet those steers were happy you retired from bodybuilding. Hopefully that was first. Here comes that big cunt again.
Yeah, a little bit in between, right? So,
Yeah.
Where do you start after that? Like, son of a bitch.
well, yeah, then you just go shooting because it's you don't have to move very fast, and you don't have to be in shape to play.
Horse takes you everywhere you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta have a few understanding buddies that want to drive or just show up.
Right, right.
Round is in shape. Never forget that.
Well, yeah.
Oh, there's Marcel. Right on.
So I guess your current area of interest you listed for us was ELR, Applied Ballistics Training and Reloading. So where do you want to start? Like, I know where I want to quiz you up on Applied Ballistics and ask you some questions that way. But
Well, yeah, if you want to start there, that's good. I can just go any route you want. Like, depends on what anybody wants to know about the applied side. It's I can give you my limited version of what I know.
well, I read the book. I'm not sure if that qualifies me as a neophyte or a fucking expert.
Well, yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, well, I think everybody's got the stack of books there and whatnot, and just grab the DVDs and sit there and plug those in. And there's a lot of information on there, and a lot of it nowadays to what we teach does come out of those books. It's all right there.
Yeah,
but
I opted for the videos instead.
Yeah, reading it between reading it and then actually trying to go put it into play all on your own, it's a chore all on its own. If you have somebody that actually already knows it and can fast track a lot of the bullshit and actually know how A and B go together to make C and follow it all the way back, makes life so much easier instead of beating your head over, say, what you would learn in one chapter. Well, we could probably learn in 5 minutes.
Okay, who's playing around with what sounds?
It's not me this time.
Cal,
are
are you
you
fidgeting
fiddling
with
with something?
No.
What the hell is that then?
I don't
It
know.
ain't me.
What is it?
It sounds like somebody's sliding a little box cutter back and forth or something.
Yeah, it stopped now.
Really?
I just heard it.
It might be your mic rubbing up against your.
On your zipper.
Fuck around. Is that
Oh,
what?
thanks,
Just
fuck.
for the ladies out there, just take that
It's
shirt
actually
off.
kind of funny. I
Yeah.
muted Sean while Mikal was talking, and I muted Rooster, and then I muted myself, and it was still there, and I was like, "What the hell's going on?"
The fuck is he doing? Where's your other hand?
Yeah.
Hand check.
No,
Yeah,
that's-
exactly. Everybody, right now.
This fucking program ain't that.
Yeah, it's rubbing on your zipper. We can hear it, man.
It's the wrong subscription. I'm on the wrong channel here.
Yeah. Still a 900 number, baby.
Well, whatever, right? Whatever's paying the bills, right?
That's it. That's it.
So what's ELR? Tell us all about that.
Okay, ELR. A lot of people think it's extended long range, and it's actually extreme long range.
Sorry about that.
Everything's extreme.
Extreme. And don't get me wrong, back in the day it was extended long range until we could shoot farther, and then it had to have a different name there too. So
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and most people say, like what is extreme long range, and there's a handful of different ways of putting it, but for the most part on the big bore end, it's something that starts at 1,500 yards. That's what they're going to say extreme long range starts at.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go through it, like not everybody's going to shoot a 375 or an overbore 338 or a 408, 416, anything like that. Extreme long range, in my world, you can do that with your 6mm, your 308s, and your short action calibers. Just press the envelope. Once you're going through transonic, and once you hit sub, hey, predictability goes out the door. And if you only have a 10% or 20% hit probability, hey, that's pretty extreme.
10 to 20% is my middle name when it comes to long range.
Yeah, and a lot of that, most people, they think, well, you should be able to, at a lot of these distances, be hitting, like 4 out of 5 at 2,000.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what if hit probability only puts you at 30%? Then what are you going to do?
Right.
What that's only going to give you, 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 10 or whatever the case may be. So, being to whatever extreme is, it can be anything. We even got extreme long range with 22s anymore. Extreme shit. We used to extreme long range shit. If you could hit something at 80 yards with your 22, holy man, look out! Now we got guys hitting a man-sized target at 400. And even I remember when we were kids shooting deer at 400 yards. You heard somebody, oh, you shot that bastard at 400 yards. Like, man, look alive, right? Like that was some distance. Yep. Now it's like, shit, if I can't pick up my 6XC and hit a 12-inch by 12-inch plate at 400 yards offhand, I'm a little worried,
Yeah.
But so
to you, where does extreme long range start? Like just your personal opinion.
My personal opinion, extreme stuff on the big bore end. I like to say it starts at a mile.
Yeah.
A mile this day and age is now the new 1,000 yards,
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
Basically. So, and any of these things, a lot of them are point and shoot, for the technology of bullets that we have and the technology of calibers, the barrels, the whole setups, the ballistic calculators, all the work that's actually went in the last 25 years, and really to what's compounded here in the last 5 years or less is absolutely phenomenal to what's being available to the like to the everyday civilian. You know, it's just not the military people get it anymore. You got to be one of those, know somebody to get that. Like, no, it don't work that way.
Right.
A lot of the good stuff is available to just about any one of us anymore.
Luke.
Is it that bad? Is it that bad?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, we can still hear it. Yeah.
Just take your shirt off, Luke. Turn into that.
If Kelly's watching, she'll be all over this.
I know Gary was.
I don't even.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna hold this here so I look.
Or you know, you can take a couple of minutes and go get a T-shirt on or something. If you
It's
want.
all good.
Yeah.
When
we'll
my arm gets tired, I'll get on that.
Okay. Okay. So what are you shooting then, Cal?
Okay, so I'll start off with just my everyday ones that I like to run, just for my a daily driver there.
Mm-hmm.
I got a switch barrel 6XC 6.5 SAUM 308 that I run.
Mm-hmm.
If it was more economical to shoot, I would shoot my 6.5 SAUM all the time. But that thing is about as expensive to shoot right now as any of them, just the way the cost of brass and all that stuff, and how quick you burn out barrels and stuff. So, you know, you're better off with some of those, you know, smaller end 6.5s or 6 mils, you know. But for the most part, like, I've been finding a little bit more love for the 308 here right now. I've been really liking that and testing out some different stuff, different twist rates and stuff like that.
Right.
It's been going pretty good. So that's one of my daily drivers. And the next one next to that's my 300 Norma. That's probably my, just after, you know, walk into September, that's my main one right up until spring. And actually when I'm, for a lot of my extreme long range stuff that I'll be, before I start heading to competitions and stuff, I'll shoot my 300 Norma a lot.
Okay.
And then, you know, I'll go out and do, you know, probably 4 or 5 round strings. And then when I'm done with the 300 Norma, I'll bring out the 375 enabler and lay down with that for, you know, 1 or 2 strings, and that's it. And then just park it. It doesn't make sense to sit there and fire them big bores out there. You know, it's just a waste of money, you know. You just got to find what a relative range for both would be. So like at 2 miles, like at 3,200 meters, the same wind call for a 300 Norma, or for like in a 10-mile-an-hour wind for a 375 enabler at 2 miles, the same call for a 300 Norma would be roughly around 2,800 or around 2,700 meters would be the same wind call for a 300 Norma to that. So, and that's a hell of a poke with that thing just as well too. So why not practice with something that's way cheaper, you know, and instead of like, you know,
2,700 meters. Fuck, I can't even see that far, let alone fucking shoot that far. Jesus.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised what you can see. You know.
Yeah. So
I wear glasses.
Oh yeah.
We'll put them on.
That's right.
Yeah. The scope you're using, and you've got another bit there too to reach way out there, don't you?
Oh
for
yeah.
that scope. Yeah.
So
what the heck is that thing called? That prism?
It's called a Charlie Tarak. It's made by TACOM HQ. John Baker there, he's the designer, owner of that.
Yeah.
Fairly good setup. Like, you know, it's I'll start off with the scope I'm using here first. Like, the ones that I've been using right now are Night Force Attacker. I got a 5-25, as well as I got a 7-35. Both real great scopes. You know, a lot of them, what I'm liking about a lot of the new technology we're seeing now is, you know, 120 MOA full adjustment. Wow. So that's giving you, for most guys in the mill world, that's right around 35 mil of full adjustment.
That's a bit.
That's a lot.
No
you know,
kidding.
You know, like on my just to give you an example, for my 375, like when we were at World's Longest Shot, we're shooting a 2650 target, and I still didn't have to have a Charlie Tarak on. I had that all internal.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So
That's impressive.
And that's really good. Like when you can start stretching out that kind of range and not having to have anything adapt on there, that's good. And that's what makes what a lot of people are looking right now. Try to get as much elevation in your scope right now without having to have any additional. Because for the most part, most of these competitions are won within the first few targets. Anywhere from a mile to 2,500. That's it. So
what kind of a base have you got on that rifle then? If you're gonna have 100, if you're gonna make full use of those 110 MOA,
well, basically anything else. Like so, if you got 120 MOA, you just cut it in half. So that's be 60 MOA. So I'd have a 60 MOA base to give me a full use of that. So in my rail on my action, I'll have 20 MOA, and then I've got Richard Neer. He custom made me an alpha. Well, I guess you'd call it an alpha mount. And we put it up to 1.703 inches high, which is the highest we can get it in order to fit the front that Charlie Tarek on the front.
Yeah.
And I got that in 40 MOA. So I got everything total. So I'll run that same scope and set up right from my 375 over to my 300 Norma and just switch that back and forth.
Sure. So then what do you zero at?
I zero at 100. Now,
Do you?
not all the time.
Yeah.
I went down. See, these last couple times we went down to Texas. There, I had a 40 MOA on it, rail on my 375, and twice now. I either once I forgot the 20 MOA rail, and the other time it didn't show up. So one time I just had to switch everything over, and then the second time I was just to hell with this. I had 40 and 40, so I had an 80 MOA cant. I'm like, oh geez. So all I did is just sat back, put her on 100, measured my offset, my offset height, plugged it in, and just basically show how well the system works on the Applied Ballistics end.
Right.
Went out and measured it right to the T, turned around, woke up in the morning, and my first target the next morning was at 2,400 yards, and I missed the cold bore and hit it second, third, and fourth. Missed off the edge on the fifth.
So how far out do you guys stretch then? Sorry, John, I keep cutting you off. How far out do you guys stretch for those challenges?
A lot of them, it all depends, and it can go progressive.
Yeah.
Depending on how the match director sets it up. So we can have, ones where everybody will get the first four targets. You'll get a 1760, a 2000, 22, 24. Everybody gets those ones. And then you got to hit the last one in order to go, or it'll be a progressive after 2,400. Now, if you don't, you get to the 2650 and you miss, you're out. Then you don't go to the 2 mile. And then if you hit the 2 mile, well, you can go to the 4,100. In 4,100 to 4,900. It's a tough.
Just some massive jumps though. If you're going from 2,700 to 2 miles, like that's the same drop as shooting from 0 to 1,000. Like it's just an absolute.
Oh yeah, beast. Like once hit probability goes out the door, they figured hit probability goes out the door. Might as well just, if we're just gonna sit there and do the spray and pray. Let's spray and pray, okay?
Right.
Throw them out there.
That's my game.
Yeah, that's John. John owns that.
There's only so much predictability in a lot of this ELR stuff. So when it gets to a certain point and it's, your hit probability's 10%, you're getting 5 shots, okay, at this one target. So on 5 shots, hit probability's 10%.
Yeah.
Well, do the math, right?
Yeah.
That
ain't good.
That's why I always said, a lot of these guys that do these exhibition shots and whatnot, they're just like, yeah, we hit it, yippee. And they don't. They're not the ones that hype it up to being the longest shot or anything. Like it's don't get me wrong, it's a great feeling, but everybody's like, oh, it's a world record. They're like, any one of those guys, you go talk to them, they'll say, it's just a shot we made, If we wanted to make a world record, we sit there and we'd shoot it twice, probably,
Right, and we'd get a fucking
but
audience.
They're exhibition shots, and they know that, and just a lot of people don't put it into play like that,
Yeah.
But
so differences between World's Longest Shot challenge and King of 2 Miles and that, other than distances, I guess, is one obvious factor.
Yeah, most of the time, like the biggest difference is basically to what the match director wants it to be.
Okay, yeah.
One of the biggest differences you're going to be starting to see, like you're seeing right now, is gear. What limitations are they going to be putting on people? So, is it a 40-pound limit? Like they'll put a weight limit on it. Will it be a length? Maybe it'll be a barrel limit. Maybe it'll be a speed limit. The one they put in this year that's burning a lot of asses here is, the bipod restriction, not being able to run F-class type Rempel or Phoenix bipods.
What do you think of something like that?
I think it's awesome. Personally, when it comes down to it, my whole end, if you're going to be a marksman, you're going to be a marksman.
Yeah.
And it don't matter what the restriction is. You just and
everybody's on the same field then too.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody has the same restrictions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, the way I see it, if just adapt to the situation and don't try to adapt the situation to yourself.
Yeah.
That is the biggest thing. If you can adapt to any situation and actually overcome and actually go out and produce when you have to produce, that's going to be awesome. That's the kind of
that's the craftsman, right? Rather than I'm a machinist. Well, are you a craftsman? You know what I mean?
That's exactly, right?
Yeah.
So
take whatever's thrown at you.
Yeah, and like there's guys that'll just admit, hey, geez, I just like laying down. I don't know, I don't have, running a Harris type bipod in a squeeze bag is not really my thing. I just do it this way, and you know what?
Yeah,
do it that way. But if a lot of guys will say, well, we bought these $450 American bipods that we can't use. Mm-hmm. Well, and then they get all pissy about it. I'm like, nobody said you had to go to that shoot.
Yeah.
That's just that shoot.
that's
pack up your toys and go home. Then nobody cares. There's somebody waiting in line that'll throw on a shitty Harris or a friggin' Atlas bipod and fucking go out and play the game because hey, they're just happy they get to play.
Yeah,
those are shitty.
What's that? The hair?
Bite your Harris, tongue.
What, the Harris bipod?
Yeah.
Oh, I've learned how to fix them pretty good.
Yeah. Right.
Don't give me overall. If I'm running out the door, I'm taking a Harris. Okay, so
that's it.
You just got a question here. How big are the steel plates at those distances?
Okay, so according to ELR Central, a regulation plate is 3 foot by 3 foot. During competition. So now, depending on what the match director ever wants to put on, he might even just say at that distance he wants to put a MOA size plate. So at 2 miles, it'd be 35 by 35 or 36 by 36, whatever. Mm-hmm. To whatever they want. But a general rule of thumb is 3 by 3. Stretch it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same size target at 1,000 as it is at 2,000.
Yeah. So, and you'll see a lot of these guys when they're doing these exhibition shots, they'll make their plates MOA size. So if you're shooting 6,000, well, you're shooting 6,000 on a 5 foot by 5 foot.
Oh, at least.
When think about it, an MOA plate, geez, it might be the size of a Kenworth hood, but
when you think about it,
you still got to hit the fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
That's still a lot of. That's still not that big. MOA is MOA. I don't care how big the plate is, right?
So what kind of settings?
Why can't women see it that way? I'm just kidding.
What locations, I guess, have you shot those world's longest shot challenges and that? And I'm thinking, of course, what's going through my mind is what it takes to get way out there to 2,000 and beyond. Like when you were at my range last summer, you saw those squirrely winds doing shitty fucking things just in that short distance out to 1,500 there. I can imagine some of the settings that you come across in the US, whether it's Wyoming or what, but through valleys, across valleys, or whatever. What's generally the locations like that you've shot in there?
A lot of them, they do vary. It's like anything else. Like a lot of them, most times that we've been going out, it's been anywhere from 32 to 38 above. You know, nice, but it's dry heat in Texas where we're at, so it's not really that bad. It's actually quite enjoyable.
Right.
Are you from Canada or are you from the States?
Yeah, I'm from here. I was born and raised up in Grand Prairie. Just
that
cowboy
explains
out
it.
of the north. Yeah,
That explains a little bit of the crazy, anyway. Yeah.
You see where I'm migrating south and catching on, right?
As you get older, Cal, you tend to do that. You'll be a snowbird right away.
Yeah. Oh, hey, trust me.
So what sort of actions are you running to hit that far? Like actions, barrels, that sort of thing.
Well, as far as for actions, there's a few out there anymore. Some of the bigger names out there. Probably one of the more common ones is like a Stiller TAC 408. That's been around. There's the McMillans. They're starting to make those in 375s. JJ Rock is actually probably one of the most. I like it myself. Real tank built, solid. Let's see what else at Lawton. I don't know if Lawton's even making them anymore. Bat makes a great big bitch there too. Doing really good. A lot of guys are starting to get more, like pay attention more and more and getting into it. But the only problem with as far as action wise, there's not too much of a buying populace right there. So not too many people want to get into it. So like when I go and bug Glenn down at Defiance and say, "Hey Glenn, why aren't we doing this?" And he just looks at me like I'm growing a horn out the middle of my forehead.
We'll make 3 a year.
Yeah, like
that's not a horn, that's an erection.
Yeah, it just happened to show up there, right? So, but that's the thing, when they're making 6,000 to 7,000 actions a year, what's going to pay the bills? Are they going to sell 500 of these big boards? Like to shut down a machine and do that, is it worth it to them? And maybe as time goes by and they find it, like I know a lot of these big board guys, they'll just run if they'll do it in batch run it. They were going to sell 25, bang, get an order for 25 once it's gold and we're gone. And that's how a lot will do that in order to house it. But there's still some good ones out there. Like Cadex, they're coming in. They got their shadow action and stuff like that. Guys are building stuff off that. There's really not anything that's not really mainstream. A lot of guys do run the JJ Rock, or a lot do run Stillers. You are starting to see a few more Cadex just due to the platform that's being built on, but they also were a huge ass company that can afford to build essentially whatever the fuck they want. It's you just got to know a little bit of history of Cadex, where what they're all about. And I'm sure if it's one of those things that could be streamlined and wants to make money, they'll make it. They'll make money. They're not there to go broke. So
So backing this up a little bit, unless you other two guys had anything to add to any of that.
Nope.
But what I'm kind of interested in right now, how long ago did you get into this, Cal? What got you into it? All that kind of stuff. And then we'll get into I want to know what you do for kind of a routine prep and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, give me a second here.
Yeah, no problem.
Load the mag there.
Load the mag, yeah.
It's fucking beaut. I love them. Okay, let's go.
So I've been doing this stuff since probably 2013. It was just one of those things that, hunting season 2012, what started all this. Me and my loose cannon buddy there, Baba Ganoush from up north there, we decided we're out ended up on some farmer's back end there, and we had 4 muleys come out, and we had one we figured he was good for the taking. He was about a 220 non-typical. And we were sitting there in about a 20 mile an hour wind, and this bugger would not come in. Yeah. And there he was, stuck about 675 yards. And I'm like, I'm going to let this weather be eat, man. I think I got her. Okay. He's like, well, I'll follow up behind you. Well, I let her rip, and I think I was about, I don't know, somewhere in the neighborhood of like between 5 and 10 feet on the one side of him. Like, shit, I even compensated a little bit there, thinking like, because we don't think at that age, like until you really know it, wind can't affect a bullet going 3,200 feet a
I've
second.
never
No.
seen it. Right?
Straight arrow, man. Like this
Yeah.
thing's going. No way this wind can affect it. It's going so fast. Oh, wow. So I don't know who ended up shooting that big ass deer, if anybody actually did, but I know I never. So, it was just one of those things. We went home and, we sat down and had a beer. I said, I'm fucking done with this.
Felt
I
sorry.
said, you know how many times if I had to actually kill all the deer that I've shot at over the years, I'd be in any magazine across the country, just for a trophy room. But I'm like, I guess that's just the sport of it all, which is fun, and I like it that way. It's better that way. So, anyways, I just said, let's find something in the spring. So we end up found a school, go to school, and we started off, and there's not much to pick from. And at that point, I don't think either of us could get down to the States at one point in life. So,
Hey, you're not doing it right, or you're not trying hard enough.
Noted. Okay.
Roger that.
So anyways, we were kids like everybody else, and we might have had a scrape or two there, but so anyways, we go to school, we get a little bit of intel, figure it out, we start shooting.
Yeah.
And we're having some fun. Things are going good. And I keep going out, and of course everything that I do, I got to do on it. Just can't be I'm just going to try it and then leave it alone. I've got to try it and then try it. And then you got to obsess over it and you got to break the fucking bank on it. And, and that's just what all of a sudden what you do. Right. So,
Yep.
So I ended up doing that. And into 2014, all of a sudden I started playing around a little bit of this PRS stuff, and it wasn't bad. I thought this will be awesome. You're packing your stuff around the country, shooting at targets. I'm like, this is the best hunting practice you could ever run across. I'm like, this is going to be good. So we did a little bit of extreme stuff there, shooting at a mile and stuff. And that was fun. But, we're shooting 308s, we got the old neutered dog there. So what are we going to do? Shooting the 308, we're going to go out and have some fun practice, learn all our loading stuff, and kind of just get in and all. So in 2015, me and the boys, we headed down to the PRS, went down to Rock Lake, Washington, go see Doug Glorfield and the boys down there. And we went down there and shot our first match. We don't know what we're getting into other than, we're just going to grab this. We got our ballistic calculators. We're a step ahead of a few people just, for the people that we knew and stuff. So we go out there. Saturday, this is, I think, one of the first years it was he put on just a beginner's welcome to PRS little thing. So we all jumped in on that and right on, had a little bit of fun, and off we go. So I think we ended up, I think me and Miles were somewhere like the bottom or the top of the bottom 1/3 or some shit like that. I'm like,
Right.
Holy fuck. We thought we did something good. We got some dude with a fucking 270 Husqvarna just kicked our ass, man.
See this pie?
Yeah,
it's humble pie. Take a fucking bite.
I'm just
Everybody
here to
likes
beer
pie.
with you guys. Hey, make an excuse. I don't give a fuck what it is. I didn't come here to shoot. I just fucking stopped by and drink beer with you.
270.
But you know what? Everybody's got to do that. You got to go down. You got to go to something. Get out of your element, out of your comfort zone. Go down to something like that. Get your ass handed to you. Then you can come home and know what to practice. You know where to go. That's some of the best advice I give anybody. Go get your ass kicked. If you think you're fucking invincible, fine. Be all whatever you want. Go somewhere first.
And you notice how many people avoid that stuff?
Yeah,
just because they don't like that feeling.
They don't
want
to get that ego slam,
yeah,
right?
That's fucking rights, man.
But don't show up at some kitty puck fucking 70 shooter fucking competition. Go down and find the biggest, baddest fucker you can find, and go in there and find out where you go.
Yep.
Oh, that's
Now,
cool.
where do you really stand?
Right. But it's, it's the truth of it all. And that's a lot of
For
people
sure.
don't want to hear it. But hey,
Yeah, you're right.
after I'm done hurting your feelings and all that, trust me, you'll be my friend. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because you'll come up, you'll be, holy fuck, you're right. And how many people have actually come up and said that,
Yeah.
or they'll be getting ready to go down to one in the States and they'll be like, oh, I'm not going. And I'd be like, why aren't you going? Well, I'm not ready. I'm like, you're never going to be ready.
You're ready. Exactly.
Yeah, you got to go down. If you think you're going to go down there and be the great white hype and whip all these Americans' ass, I'm sorry, friend. You're fucking, well, yeah, get off of whatever you're on, because that's the farthest thing from the truth.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody's
You got
got
that
to
right.
start somewhere. Everybody's got to fall on their
now
face
that you're humbled, you and I can work together.
and go
That's
again. Yeah.
that's a fucking big deal, man.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you know it all and I can't show you anything,
Right.
give her. Go.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're fucking great. I'll see you in a while.
that's right. That's right.
And for the most part, anybody that does go down there, when they come back, first thing they said, we know where we need to practice.
Yeah.
We know
Now we have a baseline.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
where I was wasting my time and what I thought I knew. I'm like,
Amen.
that's the best way to.
It's funny how all the shooting sports kind of have the same mentality in terms of competition, whether it's trap, IPSC, IDPA, 3-gun, PRS, any shit. Everyone, there's always egos involved, and there's always
that elitist group there.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
I am the top of the A's here, and I'm going to show you, and I'm going to buy all the gear to show you, and then you show up and you finish middle pack, and you get humbled, and people are like, hey, dude, like you could have done this, and this better. It's like, oh, well, I'm fucking better than you, blah,
Right.
blah.
Somebody
No,
else
like,
is an asshole. That's
bring a
what it
teachable
devolves
attitude,
into.
make it habitual, and practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
anyway, it's crazy hearing this coming from an outsider perspective and seeing so many different spokes line up. You know what I mean? It's just it's hilarious. And so that's a good segue, like a teachable attitude. You do stuff with call sign 6.6, right?
Yeah, I did up until this year, and then this year, just with the job, I have to pull back because I just don't have time. Right, the new job that I got is I'm the only field sales guy in Canada, so when things do take off, I got a lot of miles to put on. I just don't have time.
Tell me about it.
So maybe later on, if something does work, yeah, we'll see what happens. But for the most part, right now, like last year was good. I could do stuff, and it was fun. You get to meet a lot of good people and go to a lot of good places and stuff. And
Unemployment sucks though.
Yeah, exactly.
As good as Miles and the boys are.
Yeah, but I think as far as like you were saying about trainable attitudes and stuff like that, that's kind of one of my first lines. But like when a lot of people come in, when I sit there and read the class and see what everybody's about, is one of the first things I like to tell everybody is like, I don't care where you come from, what you know, who your uncle was, or who you know, or where you learned it all. You're here for a reason. You're here to you're hiring me to tell you how to do this better. So forget everything that you learned, and now take it from this step, and everything that we're going to do here. We're going to build a solid foundation, and from there on, we're building a solid foundation so we can have a solid, repeatable routine. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. That's what you come here for. And if I have yet to have anybody argue me on that.
Good.
Why they were classes?
6 feet, 260 pounds. That probably has nothing to do with it.
A lot of guys come like, not quite that big. Come on now. I'm only 5'9". Don't grow me any higher. But a lot of guys, when they do come in with that attitude where they can just blank out, that way they'll start paying attention. And later on, when we're done, when we're sitting there at the end of the day, drinking beer and whatnot, that's when they'll come out and say, okay, this is what we were taught. That's where I can take the time and sit back and say, okay, this is why this was.
Yeah.
That's why it doesn't apply no more. It probably applied back in fucking 1982 when your uncle fucking learned it and he told you. Like, that's good, but how much stuff has progressed and how much technology we've got. Shit, the stuff that we learned in 2013, by the time 2015 come along, was kind of making its way out of date. And even the stuff that we had in 2015, the technology of that then, even now, 5 years down the road is, hey, we don't use that no more, or we've bettered on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So now,
or I've learned to use it better.
Well, that's right. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
but
a lot of,
sorry, Miles, go on.
no,
Or
go
Calvin,
ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead, Sean.
Like, show up with a teachable attitude with what you got. That's it. Just show up and learn.
Yeah.
And
work
check your ego
within
at
those
the door.
confines. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah. If you, and I don't care what you show up with. Like, if we're doing a hunting course, okay, bring a hunting gun. But if I'm doing a tactical course, oh my, have I seen some stuff?
Yes, I know.
I've seen.
Tell us stories, Cal.
I've got lever action, Browning bar, like BLR, the old lever action with had a Nikon FX 1000 black. So you had a dial scope. Dude, I'm telling you, this thing was so hailed out. Like, oh, she was like an old whore. That was bad. I still
Hot
couldn't hit a
down
man.
the hallway.
Oh, fucking worse. I couldn't hit a man-sized target at 400 yards, and I tried, and I was like, "There's no way." I'm like, "There's no way." And he says, "Well, it's the same one that like my grandpa had it. He bought it new in '86 and has never had a new barrel." I'm like,
"Yeah.
Oh, you mean this thing that has all the bluing kind of burnt off it? And it's not new." Never would.
I know. I've had those guys before too, and same kind of thing. It has been in the family for generations or whatever, right?
Yeah,
it's an old slopped out hog, and you just go, all right, let's see what we can do.
Sounds like my Parker.
You want to shoot mine?
Hey?
But you know, like a lot of that stuff, like they show up with that and they try, but you know what? They go through the basics, they try. Then I'll turn them, here, take my gun, shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
But then they hit.
Yeah. Yes.
And they make stuff work. I'm like, see, now that's where the difference is. No, don't get discouraged because yours ain't working. You just ain't the right one. So here, take this one, shoot it. Yeah. And you'll see that your training is still coming into effect. Don't get me wrong. A lot of the time we'll have a rifle sitting there and say, here, just use that and 308 with your bullets and it'll be fine. And we'll get you tooled up and in the game, you know. But, you know, a lot of first time people, that's the biggest thing they do is they jump on the internet and try to listen to some people that, you know, they might have a shooting career, but it's not the shooting career they're going into. And a lot of people, there's a lot of false information out there, you know.
Or the chest puffing, you know, look what I've done and all these kind of things. He's a legend in his own mind sort of thing. But he's out there.
Yeah.
You know,
like, but you know, and when I tell guys, like they ask me, what do we use? Well, and I don't know. Well, this guy says this and this guy says that. And I said, well, I spent somewhere in the neighborhood of probably 200,000 doing this. And I've bought and sold and used and burnt out and abused and all this, a lot of the shit. Not only me, a lot of my buddies are running the same race. So we can turn around and say, hey, when I say this, there's a reason for that. If you're starting out new and I say this, use that because I don't need you to go spend 200,000. You can do this for 40 grand.
I don't even have 200,000 in the next 5 fucking
years. It all at once, Sean.
No.
Here's 200,000. Set me up for the next 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, so
fuck, I gotta go sell drill bits.
At one point, it was a lucrative business. That's why I'm selling downhole tools now. It's a little different.
Yeah,
got to be a whore of a different nature now. So,
aren't we all?
Believe it or not, Cal, off topic. Yeah, exactly. I used to run the Fastenal on Edgar Industrial in Red Deer.
Yep.
And I fucking killed it in when was that, John? 2013, I think it was 2013. Yeah. So we were crushing it. And then the downturn hit. And then they moved to Mackenzie. And it's like, I fully understand what you went through, dude. It's fucking terrible.
It's a pain in the ass. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Hey, so, Cal, there's a question that Marcel posted up. He says, Calvin, was that with me up north? And I think that was back.
Oh, yeah, that was Party's kid there. I can't remember his name, but he was trying, man, was he trying? He's a good kid. if you just put him in the right stuff, he'll go. He's going to learn good. That was a good bunch. It was probably one of my favorite courses we ever put on. We ended up doing a private course up in Flair, Alberta.
Oh God!
And, it was 36 above that weekend, and it was moist. And we got put up in the Drewville Hotel. And, it was like going to grandma's house, man. Fuck it. Open the doors.
My grandma lives in Flair, but anyways, go on.
Okay. You will go in this hotel. There's no air conditioning. There's nothing. You open the door. I'm serious. It's like grandma's house. Flowers and old shitty paintings and flowery bed shit, whatever,
Doilies and such. Yeah.
And it's like stepping into like 1975 again.
Yeah.
All over again. Everything that was new is still there.
We've been doing it this way for 40 years.
Oh yeah. No, we didn't have a community bathroom in that one. We had some other dive joint me and Miles stayed at had a community bathroom. It was great. Wake up in the middle of the night, truck her down 50 yards to find a bathroom, yeah.
Big gang showers.
Yeah.
Gang shower. Well, here we are again, Miles.
Yeah. It was a good time, but you remember those shitty box fans that just made noise?
Yeah.
I thought there was no point of these things, but how did the company that was ever building these sell these things? They fucking suck, man. Until so we walk into these hotel rooms, I look over, she's like, here's hotel room number 1, then here's number 2. And I went into number 1 and I seen this oscillating fan. I'm like, okay, Miles, he's gonna turn and he's gonna want the one with the bigger bed. I'm like, okay, you take the bigger bed, I'm gonna go into this other one, I'm gonna get this fucking oscillating fan. Yeah. I'm gonna be good, right? Because I seen, whatever, there's no other fan. So I went in, got this one with the oscillating fan. I'm like, right on. I'm gonna put this in the window. I'm gonna be good. Well, somehow somewhere in the back end of that place or under the bed, he found a fucking shitty box fan. He lived on a farm his whole life too, so he knew what it was for. I didn't. I lived on a farm, but fuck, that was just something you stuck.
Well, we had air
4 inches.
God damn it.
Yeah, stuck 4 inches from your face and kind of caught the draft, right?
Miles grew up in a sod shack in southwestern Saskatchewan
with a box, with a fucking box
fan.
So he knew. He spots this and doesn't say anything. He knows I'm taking the bait for that friggin' oscillating fan.
Right.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Cal. Yeah, I'll be fine. So he fires his box fan up, sleeps good all night. Oh, dude, I never sweated so bad. I'm sitting there. Yeah, I can't remember what the LOF guys, but one guy. Oh yeah, Darren and Bardia. They're sitting out there on the front steps of this hotel at about midnight. I come trucking out in my ginch with a beer. I'm sitting on the front end. I'm like, I'm done, man. I said, I might just curl up right here because it is fucking hot in there.
It's cold concrete. Yeah.
It was a good time though. We had a ton of fun there. Yeah.
Hey, how did you and Miles meet and where?
Remember? He was the guy I met through school. Actually, Nathan. Met him out on a rig, and he put me on to Miles, and that's how I met Miles. That's where I went to schools with Miles.
Oh, I see.
Friend of the show, Miles, listening. There you go. He's in every week.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking John. Sorry.
Read that call.
Fuck's sakes. We keep clicking it. There you
go. Yeah. Miles the fan man.
Yeah. So, that's where I met him. Miles was my first instructor.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
cool.
That's and then
I need to meet this guy.
Then he just turned into one of those hunting things, and then fucking carry on and stuff like that. It was a good deal. It worked out pretty good. It's
Yeah, good dude, man.
Yeah, we have a good time meeting him.
Yeah.
Southwest Saskatchewan. He sounds like a good old Mennonite boy. Miles.
I don't know how the hell to say his last name, but it don't look Mennonite to me.
There's a silent Q or something in there.
He's a small Norwegian.
Yeah. So, back to business, guys. Sorry, we gotta get this going. But so, Cal, what would you say are the easiest tips for somebody to focus on coming in new to touching things long range? What would you give as sort of your advice?
If you've been paying attention, he gave a whole bunch before.
Well, but
Probably one of the things I'd say, like as far as
Sorry,
what
buddy.
they're doing, find somebody that's reputable, that, you know, like somebody like myself, or, you know, there's a bunch of guys out there that are in the game, that they got to be something reputable. Not
so
everybody.
Kurt is not your go-to then.
No.
Depends on what I'm doing, though. If I'm doing Wildcats, I'm going to him first. So that's where I'm going.
It's a slow process, man. I can attest.
I think
Find
what
somebody
Sean's
that's
trying to ask is somebody that's into like IPSC and IDPA and 3-gun. If they want to get into PRS, you know, what do they need to get? What they need to do before attending their first match, right?
Yeah.
before their first match. I'd say go find an outfit that trains people in that. You know, there's only one outfit I know in Canada, right? Well, I shouldn't say in Western Canada, that actually has people that are actually actively trained, that actively shoot it, to actually train it. And they're not the people that just went out and did it, you know, one or two and then whatever. Like they're the guys, they went to the finale. They're very well accomplished, you know, and that's you know, call sign 66. It's might not be on anybody's resume there or whatever, but there's two out of the four guys that train have went down to the finale before. The other one, Cappy there, he trains guys too, and he's been in numerous events where he's, you know, been top 5. You know, like those are the kind of guys you want to be training with. You don't want to be training with people that, oh, I watched a YouTube video. That don't do you no damn good. Or
and now I'm here for you.
You know, or just because we got a training company that, you know, do you got guys that are actively doing that? Not only actively doing it, are they doing any good at it? You know? And here's the thing. I've done my full circle with the PRS. That's fine. It served its purpose. I use it for what it's used for. It's not my thing, you know. If I'm to go out and shoot it tomorrow, lots of guys are going to come out and just hand me my ass. But you know what? I can teach it. That's fine. But if I take it on and go and practice it every day, I'm going to come and I'm going to be a threat to you.
Yeah.
And that's like anybody. You practice and put the time in, you can be a threat to anybody. I don't care what you do. You put the time in and got the right stuff and go to the right people and find the right repeatable routine on a solid foundation. You can make anything happen.
Oh yeah.
Make it habitual.
Yeah. So so when they want me to come out and shoot, sure, I'll come out and shoot. You're gonna kick my ass because I'm not practicing, but I'm just happy to shoot with you because I like the like-minded people and I like to look at guns and
for sure.
See what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a good time.
We're all doing this because we think it's fucking cool. We're not doing it because we want to.
Partially.
Nobody's making money at this. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. It's like rodeo, right?
Exactly. You can break even maybe at that, but that's you're still always going in a hole, right? So But for the most part, go to the people that have actually done it, been successful, and can actually teach you.
I'm a firm believer of, even for like tactical training, like Kurt's trying to get into the AR game. Okay. And with Kurt, you know, people have said, you know, go buy a $2,000 Daniel Defense or go buy this or a Troy or whatever. And I'm saying, no, you spend $500, get an AR and take that $1,500, buy accessories, mags, and training. And that'll be your go-to. And then learn the platform and then go to work. And then once you think, okay, I do need that better equipment, right? Or that better optic or whatever.
Now that I'm not wasting so much ammo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's the same sort of concept in my opinion. I think John thinks I'm wrong, but
I don't think you're wrong. I just said don't buy a Nork. That's all I said.
Well, or an NEA or something.
You're lucky Rod Giltaca doesn't listen to this podcast.
10 years ago, I would say actually 10 years ago, I would have said buy the cheapest AR, then buy the Nork. My first AR was a Nork. But right now, sticker price on a brand new AR-15, the Nork is $100 more than a Smith & Wesson. Why the fuck wouldn't you buy a Smith & Wesson?
Well, exactly. Yeah.
Precisely.
No, don't go spend $2,000 on a Colt Canada or whatever. Or in this case, don't buy the $5,000 rig, you know, from whatever, and then put a $2,500 optic on it. Show up with what you got and then
Yeah.
go to work and then take advice and learn. Like Kurt, I'm coming out to your range this spring soon if this shit stops, this COVID bullshit. And I'm going to show up with John's 308 that he's letting me use. I'm going to show up with my Mossberg MVP that I own, and I'm going to show up with probably my 270. Right. And I'm going to see what I can do at your range. Yeah. Until I go out and buy all that extra stuff, or I'll bring out that 700 as well that I traded for. That's a piece of shit. Calvin,
well, listen, you're talking about you complain about your 270 Parker Hale. Well,
I don't. I've
you kind of put out like you do, but anyway.
Well, yeah, but I've shot every deer in my life with that gun.
Oh,
I love that gun. Yeah.
You know, I have an old Parker Hale 243. It's out at the farm with Dad now, but that thing killed more fucking animals than God, and you know, it was good, but the hunting rifle thing doesn't necessarily handcuff you. I've taken guys out with they've got their Tika light barreled 308s, and I put them on a full size IPSC or man size target at 800 yards by the end of the day, and their fucking eyes are just like this. I didn't realize I could do this. So it is capable. I've my 280 with 140 grain SSTs, I've taken that to that 1,050 yard target that I have. It's doable. It's just a matter of figuring out what the hell
it's
that
a lot of
needs.
fucking fiddle fucking around.
But it
is.
Once you know the basics of a lot of that stuff, it'll all relate over. Well, whether you got a dial scope or not, you got to know how to manipulate a lot of that stuff too.
So why don't we get into that? Like, let's start talking about the ballistics of that sort of thing. The applied ballistics, John and Cal.
Sure, let's back to that.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
This is all you, Cal. Go.
So how did you get on? Like, how did this come about? Like, you're obviously you're an awesome shooter. You're doing all this stuff, and how did you get hooked up with Applied Ballistics? Tell that story.
Okay, so one guy that I train under, Chase Stroud, down in Texas. He's like my brother down there. He's the same guy as me down there as I am up here. I ended up running across him. I said, I want to go shoot the wind course. I got to learn this a little bit better. So I ended up down there shooting with him. And me and a little buddy there, Keegan Thomas there, we ended up buggering off down there for a spring and ended up in West Texas. And we shot this wind course. And I'll tell you what, it did cost us a pretty penny, you know. I think, what'd we pay him a day? I think we each paid him $1,000 a day to talk.
Woo! Holy shit!
Okay, but when I come back, I should say when we were there, like a lot of our good times that we had were like once we learned the basic format, how to do it, put it all into play, have some fun. Well, we would sit there. There's no targets out there. We just shoot rocks because we're in West Texas, down in through the friggin' ravines and stuff like that. And there's, you're shooting through 5 canyons out to 2,000 yards and stuff like that. And I'm telling you, that is probably some of the best course I've ever been on. And usually anybody that I end up dealing with on a training end that wants, like after I'm done on a wind end, to take them to the next step. If they want to go, I line them up and go down there. Simply because that is the next step. I know it costs a lot of money, but depends. Everybody says, well, a lot of things in life are considered, there's that certain amount of luck. And luck is basically preparation for opportunity. So if you're prepared when the opportunity presents,
love it.
There you go. Right. So take that, look at it as an opportunity. You can afford to go down, come back. There isn't a damn person that I'm going to sit there and tell you, hey, if you go down there and you don't learn anything, I'll pay your way. Go ahead. They'll come back. First 4 hours they're there, like, holy shit, this is awesome. And they just sit there. We sat out there for 3 or 4 days at 14 hours a day at 36 above in the Texas sun and wind. That's all you do is drink water and shoot. And that's it. And it is fun,
I thought you were going to say another SH word there.
Yeah.
Drink water and shit. You are close to Mexico.
Very close. Oh, yeah, right where we're at. Like, there's the illegals come booting right through the ranch where we're at. Don't worry. Yeah.
Chin music.
Well, Calvin, there's another one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't leave the truck without your sidearm, right?
Down here we got prairie dogs of a different sort.
Oh,
You catch my drift.
yeah. Hey, how are you?
Oh man, that must be a wild thing seeing illegals come across that border.
There's none of them. Sometimes you'll see them. Sometimes it depends. We've went like when we're walking through and we walk through the bush, you'd sit there, you'd find their old water jugs, the black painted water jugs and the friggin' open cans and all that and shit along the way. It's kind of cool. But anyways, it's got some old history back in the West End. It has got some pretty cool stuff down there. But I tell everybody, go down there, shoot that. It does cost a lot, but when you come back, it's well worth it. Like when you come back and
as long as you retain that stuff and put that stuff into practice, right?
Yeah, and so
consciously.
Basically, what we do when you leave here with me, you got a solid foundation to know what to build on. I'll give you the basics and get you going, but then you go down there, you're going to get it again, but then you're going to actually put it into full force, more and more and more. And down there, it's a little bit easier. Like the only problem a lot of us have here, like as far as putting on a wind course, is we're limited by a lot of terrain. A lot of wind shooting is very situational. I can tell you how to do it, and until the situation presents itself, well, fuck, I can only tell you how to do it, right? So, and some of those guys, like when I've been sitting there teaching a course, all of a sudden we'll be halfway through something. I'll be like, okay, we got to shoot this now. I said, because the situation it's happening right now. Right. We got to do this. Somebody line up on this target, take everything I just told you and do it.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it'll either work, or if it fails, why did it fail? Okay, this is why it failed. And then I got to go all the way through and say, give them the reasons why.
Right. So, instead of just that reactionary, chuck another one down range. Maybe this one will hit. Yeah.
We'll find out where it's going. Well, then if you miss, now this is why you missed. And this is because of this. It all applies except for this situation. This situation's special. That's why we had to shoot it. I wanted you guys to understand this and see it. So when we're down in the wind course there, and you're shooting through 5 canyons, and you sit there and you look at your Kestrel, oh, it says 1.5 mils to 1,700 yards. Go ahead, shoot it for 1.5. And then we'll have somebody that knows the system sit down, shoot it, and well, what'd you put? 1.5 and miss. What'd you put? Well, I just held center of the rock. How'd that work?
Yeah.
Right. So then you got to teach them the whole system of everything, and it is the best part about that place. You can move up 10 degrees or down 10 degrees, left or right. 40 yards, and you got a different wind call yet again.
Oh God, it's ridiculous.
And it is that quick, and we'll sit up on the top of those fingers and shoot down into the valley, all the way through. And when we get done there, jump in the truck, fire up a beer, get down to the bottom, and shoot from the bottom and shoot up, and go the long way, go the other way.
Oh, what do you see for differences there, Cal?
A little bit of differences that you're going to see is that, you get up on the higher end when you're sitting on the top end of a ridge. Yeah, your wind is going to be a lot more than what it seems down at the bottom. You get down at the bottom, you'll be like, hey, it's only half of what it is up there.
Up top, yeah.
Totally different, right?
Yeah.
Same as shooting mountain shooting and stuff like that, or shooting high hill stuff. A lot of your wind down on the bottom's completely different. You've got drag, you've got everything that's going to slow you down. You're going to have a different wind call being down below. Yeah. But in between you and the hill, or you and the mountain to where the target is, hey, that bullet's not flying straight. It's getting some ordnance at the top end of your ordnance. You don't even, there's nothing to slow down your wind up there. So it's going to be speeding up.
So talk about that. We talked about it last summer at your wind seminar out of my range, and the different layers of wind, if you can describe it that way. That's something that I never really gave much consideration to until we were talking about it last summer. But the wind velocities at the ground versus say 8 to 10 feet versus
another 8 to 10 feet. And it all depends.
Exactly.
Like a lot of that stuff. You look at ground cover. What do you got on your left and your right? What's going to, like, which way is the wind blowing? Are you going to have coverage for most of the bullet's flight path? At the end, is it going to open up? Is it going to open up halfway through, 3/4 of the way? Are you going to be shooting far enough to where, like say you're shooting down a cut line? Is your bullet ordnance over top of the
right? Is it
your max
by
ordnance?
a higher velocity over top those trees?
And if you come up over top and you're missing, maybe there's a cut line there that it hits. Everybody thinks just because you got a rail of trees that wind blows through trees, it'll actually circle back and cancel itself out on shit like that. So there's a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
And the higher up you go, the more it changes. And it's really not to any infinite number that we can peg it at, but you can give it a fairly well-educated guess and then add a little bit. But you always want to go a little bit heavier on that wind, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of the stuff to where we're down at the bottom, like I say, and we're feeling 5 mile an hour, you get halfway up a hill, something that's got some good grade to it, like some of the better hills, like out to where I shoot, and we're even into the mountains. You could double it and even almost triple it in some cases, depending on where it is. And most of the time, it's not hard to triple a wind call. Like if we're feeling 5 mile an hour here, it's not hard to shoot a 15 mile an hour wind up a mountain. So, and vice versa, you get up on the top end, what was to where you're sitting, it'll actually hit the face of the mountain, compound itself, and actually give you another 10 mile an hour more than what it actually is. So it might be a 15 mile an hour, but where you're sitting, you're getting 25, and down at the bottom, it's 5 to where your target's at,
Yeah.
So,
but there's fuck all the shooting long range, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Just fucking blowing out there.
Any idiot can do it with.
Just got to find where the first one goes and just correct it off of that.
It.
Fuck, you got her. That's it. Yeah,
that's where I started, man.
The summer follow field, right? Hey?
Oh, yes, sir. Discer blade hanging from a fucking from a rebar frame.
Yeah, that's what me and my buddy Jared Chambers. We'll get up on the high hill and put the what's the smallest IPSC there? 33% or is it 66?
Yeah, it's 1/3.
Yeah. So we take that little bastard and we put it out there at a mile. And we'll sit up on the high hill there. There's 6 bills and 6.5s, and we'll put that in the summer follow field, and we'll shoot headwind, tailwind.
Oh yeah.
And you want to talk about a humbling.
Okay, talk about that, because there's a lot of misconceptions. Right after your story, there's a lot of misconceptions about how head and tail winds go.
Oh yeah, so that's like, it depends on what you want to practice, right? So I always try to find the weakest part where I'm practicing and try to pattern something. So like I say, what we did, we went and got up on the high hill at our farthest firing point that we could find, and down at the bottom we put just we had a small target. We just didn't give a care.
Yeah.
You're in a summer follow field, so if you're going to pepper around it, well, what sense does it take to have a great big ass target? And let's have something small. You're going to see it, right? So I think that week I shot 49 shots at that bastard, and I hit it 3 times out of 49. And then Jared, he hit it 6 out of 60. And and I'm like, oh man, does that suck? But I'm like, dude, hit probability out there is like fucking 15%.
Yeah, man.
And just think about the size of our target. It's not even that. It's even smaller than that. If we had a 10% hit ratio, that's pretty damn good. And when it come down to the, when I tell people that, like, it felt just like shit, but when I go up there and we're sitting there looking at it, and I did the math, and I just showed it to Jared, I said, you know what, this isn't bad. This is pretty good. I tell a lot of people, they're like, oh, well, Cal, you're supposed to be some sort of good shooter, and like, you want us to learn from you. But then I hold up a sheet of paper and I say, that was the size of the target at a mile.
Oh.
At a mile.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck. Come on. Most people.
If I go 5 straight on 1,000 meter 12-inch, I'm fucking dancing.
Exactly right. That's a good quote, dude. That's good stuff. So, it depends on what you want to practice and how you practice it. So, anyway, so I'll run back to the applied ballistic stuff here, like as far as the wind stuff. Mm-hmm. So when we're down there too, just as well, we're able to shoot 360 degrees all the way around high or low, wherever, shoot out
No
3 miles.
kidding.
We've got some pretty good
Would
pokes
love
out
to
there.
have that. Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a lot of good stuff. Chase is setting up a bunch of stuff there, and Applied boys will end up going down there doing a little bit of research and stuff like that.
Right.
Later on. So basically, to what we do down there, as far as a wind course, it's well worth it. So that's where I hooked up with Chase. We talked for a few years before that. I ended up showing up there, and we did that. And
Showing up, hey guys.
But yeah, it was just we met each other before lots. So anyways, we after that, it was just one of those things. Like you said, we just kept talking. He says, "Well, why don't you keep coming down? We'll do some shooting." He goes, "If there's ever a pro-am thing," he says, "Cal, I want you to be on my team, just because it simply, when we're calling out targets and looking, there it is.
Yeah.
Why don't you come down? We'll go shoot some pigs. We'll have a good time.
That's awesome,
all that."
man.
And anyways, he ended up being like a fairly close friend. He's like a brother to me, that guy. So now, as things go on to where he fits in the extreme long range world, he ended up, he was supposed to be on a different team that was supposed to come alive in October, but a week later, he ended up getting a call asking if he wanted to be on the Applied Ballistics team, and he took it.
Wow.
I was like, okay, well, that's good. So he's on there now, and they're trying to house some of the best guys that they can find, that produce when they need them produce. And Chase is probably one of the best wind teachers you'll ever run across.
Who's that again, Cal? Chase who?
Stroud.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard that name.
Yeah, Pumps Precision Rifle Training down the States. He's now he works. He's also with the Applied Ballistics Training Division too. So he fits in on that end just as well.
Les Stroud is his third twice removed cousin.
Oh, that makes total sense now.
That one I don't know. But
right on.
So anyways,
from the Outdoor Network fame.
I don't know that. I can't say that I know that.
Survivor man.
Survival guy.
Come on.
Yeah.
You have a deer in your. I'm just kidding.
I got to admit, I don't watch a lot of TV.
Right.
So
If people aren't killing things, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, even at that, I honestly don't watch a ton of TV. I barely, if I don't know, if I didn't have a woman in the house, I don't think I'd turn it on.
Is that right? Yeah.
Good
Even
for
if
you.
I'm too busy doing other shit like loading bullets and shit like that.
Absolutely.
It's hard to watch TV and load bullets, but don't get me wrong, I'll sit there in a kneel grass and watch TV. It's brain dead job all in its own.
When I'm loading ammo, that's my trick. Is I sit down in front of the TV with a bucket of 1,000 or 1,500 pieces of brass on this side, a bucket on that side. When I'm done watching whatever the fuck it is I'm watching on TV, there's 1,500 prime brass.
Oh yeah, just get going. Yeah, boring as hell.
So your 378 enabler, what is that case? Like, what's it? Is it based on something, or is it all unique?
Okay, so the 375 enabler, it is a dog of its own. So basically, a long story short, what that is it's the way the creation come to of it all. It, like the 338 Norma, there was a lot of attributes that they really liked on that. So they carried it over into this 375 enabler. So they wanted to kind of take a blown up version, change the shoulder dimensions, and make it go from there. So basically, through their ESO program that Applied was awarded there down in the States, they wanted to essentially build a 375 that could run efficient powders, like be efficient, like on temperature insensitive powders, like say like the Rotumbo or the H1000s.
All right, what are you running for powder in that thing?
I run Rotumbo in mine.
And how much of it?
123.5 grains.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. And that's pushing a 407 burger out of it too. So, and that's the thing. So when they built that thing, they wanted to actually be able to have a mag fed 400 grain bullet, which would be ideal. Whether, one of the, for their ESO program, they ended up running with the, what the hell was it?
Here you go.
They ended up running with the 379s.
Oh,
So that's
Grain.
got 635 bolt face, and overall length of the case is 2.7635 inches. Jesus Christ.
well, and for reference, I guess 300 mag is what is it, 2.56?
That one I wouldn't know.
Yeah. What was that length, John? Sorry on that one.
Oh, just a second. I'll tell
Oh,
you.
never mind. Doesn't matter.
It's a 2.7635 from the base of the case to the tip of the neck.
Oh, so another quarter inch longer.
Yeah. So now a lot of people
sorry,
say, why don't you just go ahead and shoot a 375 shy tack? Well, one problem. It's you put a 400 grain bullet in it and you got to pull your bolt to get a fucking loaded round out. That sucks. And you can't mag feed that fucker. So it kind of sucks. You know, it was made for like a 350 grain and off you go. You can do that, but you want to shoot the best technology you can. So lathe turn bullets is where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
and those come from where, Cal?
the lathe turns.
Yeah.
Well, Burger's got their own. They got their the 375 or 379 grain and the 407 grain.
Okay.
And those are the ones that Burger just released there, Brian.
Oh, I didn't.
Put some good
I didn't
time
realize they were doing lathe turned as well.
That's just new. That was starting about 2017 ish. That's when the testing went through.
Right.
They were testing with them and stuff.
Nice.
Winning competitions with them as a test bullet. You know, stuff like that. Yeah. So as a prototype and stuff. So, so you know, it's basically to what they wanted to have a mag fed 400. Off we go. Run a temperature stable powder. Just be a friendly, easy to load. You know, it's not going to be. It's going to have the same ballistic turnout as say 375 shy tack.
Mm-hmm.
Same, like, but it might in certain cases you might be able to take a shy tack and turn it up a little bit and get it a little bit hotter.
Right.
But in the long run, the trade offs kind of it's negligible. It's not really a thing, right?
What are you running for velocity in that with those 407s?
Okay, so first off, I ran my first ones at like 2,780 feet a second.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, and I think now I'm up to 2,840. And that's just my barrel sped up.
In a 30 inch or what?
Yeah, 30-inch barrel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Geez, that's cooking along pretty good.
And it's not bad. And I'm only shooting, I think my rifle weighs 24.8 pounds.
Oh, is that it?
Oh, and it's a kitten to shoot compared to 375 shy tack.
Is it?
Day and night difference.
No kidding.
Yeah. And it's, easy, like the brass, it's starting to get to be, it'll be in Canada here fairly soon. If it isn't already coming through, I think we got some sort of import deal coming through KDEX. I'm not really sure. I'd have to check on that, but.
Right.
Lee McDonald here has a question. Do you know what the tolerance is on lathe turned bullets?
Oh, it's got to be in the tens, hundreds.
The tolerance of those, it's extremely tight. It's under 1%.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's well under 100.
Like that, John.
The lathe turn bullets,
1% on the lathe is a lot.
Like we're talking over extreme end here. It's on a different, like on a velocity end. I'll back up a little bit because when I'm saying like 1%, that's on a different end that I'm talking than what you guys know.
You're talking about the on targets. You're talking about
the overall end of variance, like through from muzzle to from muzzle to 2,000.
Right.
2,000 yards. Okay.
Well, one thing with lathe turn bullets, when you're turning off a solid shaft of material, it's relatively easy to get the same weights on everything, the same dimensions, especially with the machinery we have now.
Like on those Swiss mills, I'm telling you, they are extremely accurate. Yeah. Like we're talking like to the 4th or 5th decimal place. Like it's a stupid number. Like there's not much variance in anything of BC on that.
Like you think about it, the average human hair is about 4 to 5 thou diameter. And
so what I tell people is like the thickness of a sheet of paper is 4 thou. Okay.
Exactly.
So
right.
Think about that. When we're coming that close to however it is.
And four thou is 0.004. To achieve 0.0004 is no big stretch anymore.
No, it's not. The technology.
I've turned bearings, bearing races in that to 1/10 of a thou, 0.0001. So I mean, it's easily doable.
Mm-hmm. And that's the good thing about you got more predictability. I shouldn't say more predictability. More you're going to have more. Everything's going to be
your ogive is exactly the same place.
Yes, it's not like a cup and core where it's going to be off. Like you bullet sort 100 bullets, and you could have 3 different lots or 4 different lots. These ones are 2 thou longer than that pack, and these are like they're all, they can have a variance of anywhere from 1 to 2 thou or 1 to 3 thou difference throughout the whole 100. Which that's cup and core bullets. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
for the most part. If you want to drive yourself crazy, go ahead and start sorting bullets. Don't get me wrong; it does make a difference if you're to a certain degree.
If you're way really out there,
but if you're shooting PRS and sorting bullets, oh man, go waste your time doing something else. Go learn to call wind. You're better off.
Absolutely.
But,
Cal, we could go on for days about all this sort of shit, and God forbid you and I ever get together and have too many beers and just the two of us talking, because it would get stupid. But we should we're at over an hour and a half right now. We should probably wrap things up a little bit, at least for now. Cal, we should have you on again. Maybe at the end of the season this year. That'd be
you are officially welcome to our spring shoot.
That's it.
What are we doing here?
Well, message you. We'll talk about it off there.
Everything. And you know where my range is now, so hey.
It's not hard to find, right?
No, sir. All right, should we get into a little bit of news, boys?
Sure. Well, we don't have much.
No,
besides COVID being a salty bitch.
Knockoff.
But like I found an article from TFB TV or the Firearm blog out of the States stating that the NSSF National Shooting Sports Federation reported for last year that there has been the lowest number of firearms accidents in the history of recording. The recorded accidents. So
that's because motherfuckers aren't out on the street.
Here, I'll just post a link to that in the feed. So there we go.
There you go. So that's some good news, I guess. Why don't we get it to
2.5 million guns sold in the past couple of months or something too, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for an official article to post to show that, because even our local gun stores, our LGSs,
my God,
like Extreme Range is booming. TNT is booming just with online stuff too. Unbelievable. And that's not talking about Red Deer Shooting Center. That's not talking about Wolverine. I want to know the numbers coming out of Wolverine. That would be insane. But yeah, so that's all I got for news. Besides COVID being a complete utter bitch, and restricting us further, right? So
Cal, what are you seeing? Like the missus is a nurse, you said, in the Red Deer Hospital. What is she observing out there? It's not. I mean, you said she got sent home early the other night because there was just no business.
So it's see, the media will boost anything up. They'll turn a molehill into a mountain pretty easy. So
whatever drives clicks, right?
It's. Don't get me wrong. It is a problem. Sure, if you're in a bad shape, you need the friggin' machine to get through this. I understand, but most people are sent home. There is nobody in the Red Deer Hospital that has it. Nobody. There isn't one. Everybody's at home that has it.
Come to Regina.
But the thing is,
nobody wants to go to Regina.
It depends on who has it too. You know,
Yeah,
the people
yeah.
that have it, if you have underlying something that's really taxed your immune system, it's already
Sure.
compromised, of course you're going to get your ass kicked. It don't matter.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you get it. Some people, they might have an underlying something or another, get it and then die, and they blame it on COVID.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
nobody told me that. Hey, well, what did dude have cancer before that?
But you know what? That's
They
exactly
won't tell you that. Did he die of cancer or did he die of fucking COVID? What if
Did
he's
he
driving down the fucking road? Did he die of fucking cancer? Or did he die of car accident?
That's exactly like firearm statistics, man. They just cherry pick whatever they can to boost it, and away we go.
Yeah, you know, then like just to what she sees, you know, like there is a lot of change and stuff. Like not just anybody's allowed in the hospital. You got to walk through the door. There's somebody in full garb takes like even when she shows up, you got to take her. They go through and take her temperature. Everybody, you know, hoses down, wipes down, puts on her scrubs, and off she goes from there.
Yeah.
You don't bring anything in. You put it all on what they supply you there and go to work.
Right.
You follow a different protocol. It's a little bit stronger, but you know, for the most part, it's not really that bad. Like as to what they say it is. If anything, everybody says, "Oh, these healthcare workers are overworked. They're this. They're just taxed straight to the nines." Actually, when all the drug addicts and tweakers and all that other fucking thing aren't walking in there and, you know, plugging up the system,
taxing our ambulance system,
all that.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a pretty quiet place to be.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad. My mother, she cleans a Stettler hospital, and she's like, "Yeah, we're done early every day because we don't have to clean up after all them bastards too." You know, like it's they come in and make a mess, and they just hang out and they wait, sit in the emergency, and they fuck around and every one of them's in the worst fucking pain they've ever been in. Might as well have been shot. You know, it's just one of those things. But as far as like the whole COVID thing, yeah, there's certain protocol they got to do, and a lot of it is mostly being ready in case something happens, right? Not to say it's going to happen, but their numbers are so blown out to lunch. Who cares? You know,
and
you know,
look at what Trump just told 3M. We've all worked with 3M products between the four of us, and now Trump has dictated to 3M, a large manufacturer in the United States, stating that they cannot export to Canada or Latin America
until the U.S. orders are filled. There's a difference.
Well, true.
That's Trump and his America First, criteria going way out there, right? So,
but then the 3M should talk to my plants and say, "Hey, listen, plants are shut down. Let's go to retool up. We'll pay you X amount per mask or per box or whatever.
Yeah,
let's rock and roll and go to work." Like,
yeah.
I thought that was supposed to be happening anyway. Who's the person that made the statement that we're in wartime condition or whatever?
Well, they need 3 to 4 weeks to tool up, right? Because let's face it, just because you're making diapers doesn't mean you're set up to make masks, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Depends how you use those diapers, I guess.
Any good manufacturer will take a week to 10 days to tool up.
Yeah, at least.
That's it. And regardless, anyway. So there's a couple sales on I want to highlight. I got an email today from SFRC. They have a bulk sale on. They're not sponsoring this at all, but they have a bulk ammo sale on. 223 American Eagle was $449 for 1,000, and Barnaul was $249 for 500. 223.
So it's actually cheaper to buy the American-made stuff versus the rest of shit.
It is. So
seems like
plus they lowered their free shipping limit from $300 to $150. So so John, rack up that credit card.
Yeah. What happened last month?
What else we got? Do you guys have any other good deals going on?
No, I've been slacking this week. Just, it's weird. I've been working from home for a week and a half or something now, and it's just weird. You just kind of sit in and don't do anything other than work, go out for toilet paper. That's about it. the odd bit of groceries, but otherwise, I mean, it hasn't changed a whole lot for me because generally speaking, outside my circle, I
You don't have
really
friends.
don't fucking like people anyway. So this whole physical distancing thing is great as far as I'm concerned. When I do get out and drive around the streets a little bit, it's pretty damn refreshing. I don't have to swear at so many people now.
You should go pull that hotel we were at in South.
Yeah, run some exhaust into the utility room there.
Guys,
Sales over on the ammo already. It's up to $479 again. But they do have 500 round packs of 9mm Luger. It's Remington.
$479 for 1,000 rounds Federal American Eagle. That is not bad.
No.
So they don't sponsor us at all, but go check them out. Ryan,
but it's a good thing to check out for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. What else we got? Human who doesn't suck of the week. We were kind of we don't really know. Besides,
nobody's really standing out right now.
Besides Trudeau being a fuckhead.
God. Yeah, but we're talking on a positive note right now.
Yeah,
that's right.
The human who doesn't suck. I said any frontline worker. So anyone in healthcare, LEO, like law enforcement official, any restaurant that's still plugging business, go support them because we can make frozen pizzas and pizza pops and whatever the fuck we're eating, but once a week and support your local joint. Like
absolutely,
because they are hurting right now.
Not just skip the dishes.
No, but skip the dishes helps them.
I said not only
what point?
Skip the dishes.
But like call your local, rotisserie Pete, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
I don't give a shit.
Well, you know what? It's just like we talked about before about wholesale sports. Now they're gone.
Yeah. Now we all wish we had them back.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And times like this, they need our local joints need us more than ever. And that includes restaurants, that includes local gun shops, right? So yes, SFRC has a special deal, but if you're in Red Deer, check out Wolverine Supplies, check in Red Deer Shooting Center, check out Calgary Shooting Center, like whatever your shop is, go check them out. Saskatoon Gunworks, because I'm sure their range is shut down. I don't know.
I'm not sure. It's something I should check into.
But Back 40 Guns and Gear, that's one we haven't mentioned here. Extreme Range Outfitters, TNT in Regina, Prairie Gun Traders, they were closed today when I delivered the gun. Shout out to Derek for winning.
Don't forget North Pro Sports in Saskatoon.
Can't forget North Pro.
Yeah, Kevin there, he's good.
What's that shop in PA? Northern Elite Firearms, Melanie. Right. We have so many good shops in these two provinces.
And PA too. So
Armies. Yeah.
Calvin, do you have a local that you prefer?
I honestly, it's hard for a lot of the stuff that I run to find locally. So
you know what though?
Sure, but if I do, like a lot of the times, I will go down to Kurt's shop there at Red Deer Shooting Center. If I need something, he's usually my first pick. I'll hit.
Shout out, Kurt.
Yeah, and then other than that, most of the stuff I just up around here. I got buddy Brent Webster there at the Nearlandia Co-op. He's a shooter there, and he does pretty good there too. He does pretty good for having good supply on.
Yeah,
stuff.
He carries a lot of Lapua too, doesn't he?
A lot of stuff, and it just gets more and more. Like Co-op's got such a huge buy-in power now that it does. Like it's an endless bank account for them. So if we want it and we know that it's going to go, hey, we just bring it in and off we go. And it's just some little hole in the ground over by Barhead. You wouldn't expect it, but man, do they do a lot.
Boom, there it's there.
Yeah, and the thing is, once you get a shooter that's a guy that's a shooter and know what everybody wants, that's the stuff they're going to bring in. It's not going to be like running over to your local UFA to buy your Super X Winchester 308s to go plug your deer or shoot your kites with the 243 or anything.
Right.
It's And even that, some of that stuff, like even in the bigger cities, they're getting hit so hard that, geez, you know, anything that's outside that would specialize in it, like say Nearlandia co-op, hey, that's good.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
somebody's paying attention.
Check out these guys, EM Precision Rifles in Nitzku. You know, they're amazing too. Steve
check
and
out a lot of your local rifle builders. A lot of them actually have stuff on the side just as well too. It could be, you know, maybe they're a Hornady dealer or a Leopold dealer or some shit like that, or whatever. They might have something that you wouldn't know, you know. And that's just secondary income, because, you know, you can only make so much.
So I've got to give a shout out to TNT, because they were willing when I was my second half, Sarah, second half. Other better half
for sure. But go on.
Anyway, she works in home care, Cal, so she's in healthcare as well, as a CCA, so a step below an LPN. But she was doing her thing, and she thought she was exhibiting symptoms of COVID, so she went and got tested. So therefore, I told my boss, and we were on lockdown for a while, for the last week. Yeah. And I ran out of powder, and I was blasting through 223 rounds this week, and I ran out of CFE 223, and I'm like, John, go get me more powder. And John's like, fuck you, man, I'm not going anywhere. And so I called TNT and I said, hey guys, how many pounds do you have? Or how many, you know, what do you have with CFE 223? They're like, well, we have 2 left, and that's it. But
sold.
Yeah, I'm like, done. Here's my credit card. But I'm like, can you deliver it? And they're like, where do you live? I'm like, well, southwest end of town. So they're like, we all live in the northeast end of town, so exact opposite end of town. So we can't, you know, deliver it to you. But thank fuck I have a dad who is retired and who is not under quarantine, who went and picked it up for me, delivered it to my door, and I am good to go. And I've reloaded, what did I say, guys? 407 rounds in the last 18 hours or something like that.
Nice.
Anyway, so yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
So shout out, that segues into our shout outs. So I have TNT as a shout out for hooking me up and even thinking about delivering it to me on their own time without charging me extra. Shout out to those guys. They also sponsored our sticker draw, which I delivered the gun. I drove to Avonlea and back today. I'm not in quarantine anymore, obviously, but drove to Avonlea and back, gave the gun to Derek today. He was very happy. He completely forgot he bought a sticker pack.
Well, what are the chances whenever you do that, hey?
Well, exactly, right? And he won, and it turns out he has many friends that are gunnies and now fans of the show. So
awesome.
Shout out to Derek. Thank you, sir. We appreciate the support.
We do so.
Like I said earlier in the show, if we don't go to TACOM, we're going to donate the excess funds to a charity of worthiness, if that makes sense.
Yes, and not just SFRC for that $479 deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only that.
And backing up, any healthcare, LEO, restaurants, supporting local guys. Those are the human who does suck of the week. Honorable mention to Kelly Lynn, the Maple Seed Goddess, the CCFR extraordinaire from Slamfire Radio. I'm gonna go this far, guys. Our sister show.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, I think we're beating them.
Romantic.
Does that mean Kurt and the Furlot have to make out next time they meet on account of the beardness?
Wait, what?
No, I want
to back the fuck up.
Back that up. What did you say?
Yeah. I want to see Kurt and Trevor go to work and just start throwing fisticuffs. That would be a good brawl.
Actually, that would be.
We'll just be
I got
hitting
5
beards.
You guys are relatively the same build. You both fight dirty as fuck. And
old guys got to do that, man.
That'll be.
I'm not too proud.
It's all you got left, man. Fuck.
That's it. That's it. That and memories. The few that I still have.
Create the new ones on the way up.
That's right.
Well, and guys, I figure the world is too negative already. We're not going to touch on Dingleberry or honorable mention, just because fuck those guys, right?
If you want to be that sensitive, sure, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sensitive. I just, I'm just, we're sitting here getting bombarded with negative bullshit. We need to put out as much positivity as we can, like touching things long range, touching MOA targets at 2,000, 2,700 meters. Like Cal was saying, fuck me, that's insane. But I do have a shout out. So my dad, like I said, my dad picked up that powder, delivered it to me, kept me going. Kurt, who do you got?
My shout out this week is Dennis Lair at Go Ballistic Gunsmithing. He did a little bit of problem solving for me. I sent him my 6.5 rooster because I had second thoughts about my throat length. I want to be able to. Boom. It's not my throat length. Yeah. Well done, sir.
It's not a Creedmoor, dude. Come on.
No. That's right.
None of us shoot 6.5 handguns.
Anyways, Dennis said he could turn it around in a day, and I'm like, fuck, let's do this. Then I got to throw it out to shoot heavier bullets because the case capacity is proving to be more than what I thought it was going to be. So I might as well utilize that. Anyways, we got talking about this Wildcat of mine and the fact that I don't yet have dies, final sizing dies. Turns out the case taper is just about exactly like a 284 Shehane. Shehane, is that how you say that, Cal? Shehane. Shahani.
Ask Brent Webster, but he had one of those gay things made here just a couple days ago. Yeah, he'll know how to say something,
right? But anyways, what he did, because what I do to ream these cases and all that kind of stuff is I use the Wilson case trimmer, and he made me a bushing to hold these cases.
Nice.
I don't know. He actually engraved it even. Where can I see that? There
it is.
6.5 rooster.
Nice.
Oh.
It actually works well to take fired cases and re-ream them. Cool. Say that again, Sean.
That's the sort of font that a 15-year-old girl would write on a note to her boyfriend.
Well, I'm going to give Dennis your fucking address, and you can. So Dennis did a heavy solid for me, and I'm grateful.
Love you. With that, there, Rooster, I took the 375 enabler and sent it right down to L.E. Wilson and got him to build that, just so it would be in their library for everybody else down stateside,
awesome.
right?
You betcha.
So if
I should do the same thing with the 6.5 rooster because it's going to be a massive hit.
But how many people actually? But how many people actually use an L.E. Wilson anymore? Really?
I know.
I use it because if I had to use a Girard trimmer, I'd have to have like 5 of them.
Yeah.
Simply because every time I'd want to trim, I'd have to change this, change that, and I hate fucking with stuff.
Yeah, just go.
Once it's set, it's set. That's just like I run a Forester coax for a press for a simple reason. Once it's set, done, I'm going through. I don't need to fuck around with this all yet. There we go. There's the girl right there. And I purposely for my enabler, I had 2 RCBS rock chuckers sitting around. Well, I bolted them up, put the dies in there, and they just sit there. Yep. I don't even do anything other than that. But
well, lottie fucking dog. I only have 2 presses.
Well, I got 3, whatever.
It's not about the size; it's about what you can do.
Right.
Or how many, whatever. It's fine.
It's not like that.
Quantity, not quality.
Sometimes it's not about quality; it's about quantity. Okay.
That's right.
That's right. When you get older, it's about quality, but when you're younger, it's quantity. Man, just go.
Yeah. So, guys, do we want to give Cal a chance to do the final closeout and thoughts here? Final thoughts? Do the Jerry Springer final thoughts?
Sure.
Do you want to do that, Cal, before we do our normal outro, or do you want one of us?
I'll give her a quick one here.
Let's have it from you, buddy. That'd be great.
So
he's got fucking notes. I'm scared.
Look at that paper, actual paper.
I set this boy up right.
What's going on right now?
Got a printer, company provided, right?
Hey, there you go.
So generally, like you guys got all the same stuff, and basically, yeah. To what I want to say, you know, any sport in the shooting world, it's essentially a perishable skill. If you're not practicing, you know, you're just not at the top of your game. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Whether you got time or what situation hits you in life or whatever, everybody's got a different story, which is fine. You know, that's life. You know, when it comes down to it, if you're not practicing, you know, don't expect to be at the top of your game. And if somebody comes in behind you and, you know, one-ups you, hey, so be it. Go practice a little harder.
How does that saying go, Cal? Don't be disappointed in the results you didn't get from the practice you didn't do.
Exactly.
Something to that effect,
if you're not trying to win, somebody else is. Or, you know, if you what you're not doing, somebody else is, you know.
You ain't first, you're last.
Yeah.
There's that too.
Yeah, we said that today. Hey, Ricky. So, you know, for the most part, that's one of the things, you know. When you do go out, have a solid foundation so you can build a solid, repeatable routine. Yeah. That is one of the biggest things I say. If you don't have a solid foundation to build a solid, repeatable routine, you've got nothing. And I don't care who you go to. If they can't teach you that solid foundation to where you can build that solid, repeatable routine, you just wasted your money. Yep. Now, and it's not only that first part from going from start to finish, but what you got to have that's only half the equation. You need the other half. When something goes wrong, you need that solid foundation to have that solid, repeatable routine on a troubleshooting end. Start from the far end and bring it all the way back. And know where
what's solid and what's not, and why is it?
And why isn't it? What is it? And it could be the smallest little thing. And how do you do it? If a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, you just try this." Well, you can try 100 fucking things and might not hit the right thing. But if you go through a routine that goes through all of it, you're going to run across it. And if you're taught how to do it properly, chances are you're going to run across it way faster. Yeah. You're going to have a lot more success, a lot less downtime, and off you go. Your success rate's you're going to go up. You know, so basically with that, it helps you out. And with any of that, when you have that solid routine, it helps you in everything, not only in success, but in your practice. When you have a practice, it becomes second nature. When it becomes second nature and it's built and burnt into your subconscious mind, you turn around and you have something that's going to be around when you actually enter high stress or high anxiety situations. Whether it be fighting the clock or being you're in the final round of a shoot, you know, and you have to make these count and you hear everybody talk and you want to be able to block that shit out, whether you can or not, but you got to know, maybe you have to walk away when somebody's doing something. Maybe you can't be around. You got to back out and do certain little things, you know? So that's one of the biggest things. You build that solid foundation. And when you do, guys go to school to somebody that's going to teach you stuff that's relevant to what you're doing. Make sure they're relevant in what you're looking for. You know, that's a big thing. You know, if they did something, you know, 15 years ago that's not relevant to what you're doing now, it don't matter a hill of beans. They're not doing it. And if they don't sit down, if your instructor can't sit down and shoot with you and sit beside you and miss and humble up and, you know, everybody say they suck, I wouldn't go to them. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah, your instructor, sure. You know, and even on a teaching end, one of the things I tell a lot of my guys, if you come out and we shoot and you beat me, I want you to beat me. This is what we're doing. Yeah. I'm not here to beat you. I'm here to teach you the proper steps and the proper stuff in order to get you to the finish line, to get you onto the podium, to get you everywhere you want to be. Honestly, if you beat me, that's good, because all that tells me I'm a great teacher. And that's what you paid me for.
Right.
You didn't pay me to lose.
That's right. You know? You fail as a teacher if you don't at least get them close to beating you, man. Yeah. You, as a teacher, you suck.
Yeah. and if we go head to head and you beat me, great. Guess what? I better get practicing a little bit better, because I'm probably not doing something that you're doing. or vice versa. You know, if I'm beating you up, maybe there's something I'm doing that you're not.
Yeah.
And I really got nothing. Like when I teach guys and stuff like that, there's usually, I can't say there's anything I leave out. Here, I'm going to give you all the tools.
Sure.
In order to be successful. It's just to where do you take it?
Right.
You can be a jack of all trades and a master of none, but you can also be someone that focuses on and specializes in a certain area. Guess what? If you specialize in a certain area, you might struggle a little bit in the whole realm of it all, but that doesn't make you the bottom end of what your sport is.
Well,
you are valuable on a certain end, right?
That's right.
So,
and speaking of specializing, the CCFR helps us keep our guns 110%. They're fighting tooth and nail for us, especially in this downtime. You know, they're going 100%. And join them, join the CSSA, join the NFA. A membership to all the organizations is between $40 and $45. It's good for the year. You know, it wouldn't hurt if you bought a shirt, sticker, hat, whatever, fucking hoodie. These shirts, these badass shirts are on firearmrights.ca, the store there. Check them out. They're like $20, I want to say. I could be wrong, but check them out. We're going to give you a quick message, quick 30 seconds from the CCFR. So and we're back. So Cal got to look behind the mirror as to what we do. Cool, guys. Cal, thanks for coming on, dude. My brain is ready to explode. We're gonna have to talk off air.
Yeah, great
about this. Cal. We got to have you back on when you start getting into season. We're looking at going to King of 2 Miles, me and Kurt as well, to cover that as well. So
when you decide to go, let me know.
We're going.
We'll swing by and pick you up, buddy.
And it depends if it's still on. See, that's the problem. I got the Night Force Steel Challenge in Wyoming here, middle of June. That might not be a go.
Yeah.
Night Force Steel Challenge, Kurt. Do you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
John, in June, Night Force Steel Challenge.
I'm not sure.
5 Rooster.
What you're thinking of this.
Yeah. So there's that one, and then there's the King of 2 Mile. That's 2 weeks later. Those might not even be a go right now.
No.
Whether they chances are everything might get postponed and be moved down. Like I had a couple buddies there in Oregon. They had their high desert ELR shoot here today. It got postponed. It's not that they didn't want to put it on. They'd sooner just say to hell with it. We're all going to get together and do it. But apparently in the eye of society, it's just one of those things. So they'll move it down to they don't want to do it in September because we got to go elk hunting and stick and stringing and whatever other shit they do there. Being Hiawatha and fucking whatever. Right. So now it might be in November, which would be good because then I can make November. That's good for me,
Yeah.
Go down there and at least we can drive the 12 hours to get there.
I think King of 2 Miles in the States is in June, but the one proposed for Canada here is September, I believe.
Oh, you're talking about that one. Okay. Well.
That one, yeah. And Steve and Shane actually are planning to go to that.
Going to France, I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah.
There's 3 of them. You could. Pick
I do not speak frog, so we will not be going to France.
No, none of us do.
Highly insensitive, Sean.
Unless Steve and Shane want to pay our way to go there, then no, we are not going to France.
We can go bond with Trudeau and go over there on an all-expense paid trip. How's that?
Okay, now you're getting me angry.
Yeah,
well, you know what? Guys, I got permission from Monster Truck for this week for their music. So shout out to Monster Truck. Shout out to Danny Joe for letting us use his music as well.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Apologies to Wesley Stevens. We ran out of time for you this week.
Wesley.
Yeah. Luke, fuck you too, buddy. Feeling is reciprocal.
Love you, man.
Shout out to Luke. He's our most faithful listener.
It's fucking 3 a.m. where he is right now.
That's right.
What's he gonna do tomorrow anyways? He's sheltered.
pop some more aspirin and fight off those heart attacks. That's
no kidding.
that's what we. Anyway, love everyone who listened. Thank you for listening.
Yeah.
And we will see you soon.
Thanks, Cal. Hell of an episode, bud.
Yeah.
We just scratched the surface there.
Yeah, we did.
It's one of those things like we were talking about. You're gonna bring up a topic and we're gonna head down a rabbit hole far.
Yes, sir.
And then we're gonna forget what the hell we talked about and then go on to something else.
We're not even close to looking in the bowels of this fucking.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I can talk all day about this. I love it.
I know.
Just took a wipe of the shitty.
You know, we might have you on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. If we want to film. Or all of them.
I'll be around. It's not like I'm going anywhere. I got this fucking work from home bullshit. And like,
Yeah.
Honestly, who really puts honest effort into that, right? So, fuck.
I'm not saying anything. I work fucking hard, you guys.
It takes me 16 hours to put in a 4-hour day. I get it.
It's not a bitch at all.
Okay, guys. Thanks. Appreciate it. See
Good night,
you later.
guys.
Stay deadly.
You're deadly.